Where is Penelope? Hold on, let me go get her. Okay, Penelope is here and she's safe. One of the most common things that I get asked when people find out I'm psychic or super intuitive is, how did you even find that out? How do you know what? This is what I usually say. The day that I found out that I was a psychic, like the day somebody told me I was a psychic, I was in Big Bear, California on a yoga retreat with, I think it was like an 8-person yoga retreat, super tiny, in a small log cabin. And on this retreat was an angel psychic, like an angel intuitive medium. One of the very first things she said to me when I sat down was, you are not imagining things, you are super psychic, you can do this for the rest of your life if you want to. I call it my Harry Potter moment. So basically she was like, you're a psychic, Didi. And I'm like, I'm a what? The angel intuitive psychic medium who told me I was a psychic, that is my current day psychic mentor, Sheila O'Donnell, or Angel She, one of my favorite beings of all time. It was just so validating to hear that, because I knew I was super intuitive. I knew from very early on that I knew stuff that people did not know. Just like the standard person does not know this information. I knew that as far back as I can remember. Seeing visions of things that did not make sense, knowing things or hearing things and feeling like I already knew that. You already told me that. Like, that's what it was to me. I can't quite explain it accurately or satisfactorily. That's a word. It was such a cerebral experience, but I've known my whole life that something was different about the way that I experience things. One of my earliest memories of intuition or premonition was, it was me and my younger sister Lisi. We were at our old house and we were riding bikes across a big open space that was green, and the grass was kind of bushy. There was this hole that nobody knew was there, like a big enough hole. And before it happened, a couple seconds before it happened, I looked over at Lisa and I had this vision of her falling into the hole, like swerving, falling into the hole and flipping over her handlebars. Guess what happened? And right before it happened, I was like, oh, poor Lisa. And no, everybody's like, what? Another thing that I remember happening when I was super young, and I knew I was in grade 6, and there was this one kid, he shall remain nameless. I had a dream one night that this kid spat on this other kid and got suspended. The next day, guess what happened? That kid spat on that kid and got suspended. So I've known a while. Those are just like small examples of stuff I experienced and like kind of hinted at something working differently or more strongly. The way that I experience it now is I will meet somebody, or I will be talking to somebody, or I will dream, or I will just randomly know, something will pop into my brain. For example, when I see something and it doesn't make sense, it's usually like some kind of symbol and I don't know what the symbol means. Like, I'll be talking to somebody and then an image of a swimming fish or a banana leaf or a bridge, like a physical bridge, and I don't always know what it means. Sometimes it's really literal. The time the bridge popped into my head, actually it's a few times the bridge has popped into my head. To me, that's quite a literal thing. Like, oh, what you're talking about to me, this is a bridge in your life. It's taking you from one side to the other, so stick with it. I will see images, I will see words, I will see numbers in my head, or I will see little scenes play out in my head. Sometimes I know what they mean, other times I do not know what they mean. That is where tarot comes in. As you may or may not know, I do read tarot cards. Right now, things pop in randomly. I currently cannot at will retrieve information. It just seems to fly at me at any old time. While I learn to hone that, manage it, channel it at will, tarot is a huge help. It's a divination tool. So when I shuffle it and I pull stuff, I will see the image is built out, and seeing it will, like, it will send off a light bulb, or it will send up an antenna, and I'm like, oh my god, yeah, A, B, C, 1 + 1 = 2, you know, like the picture in my mind builds out and it suddenly makes total sense. And then sometimes I'll see words, sometimes I'll just like know something, or like I will have a physical feeling in my body that I tried to put into words. If you've ever had a reading from me, there's just like a lot of this talk with my hands. My dad says I'm Italian. I'm half German, not Italian. But there's just like a lot of hand motions, because sometimes I don't have the words, but I have the feelings, and I know how the feelings look, you know? And I know how they feel, I just don't know how to articulate it. I used to think I was insane. Like, you can't imagine being 15 in Jamaica and like knowing things that nobody has said to you, but you just like know it. I found out when I was about to turn 25 that I was also an empath. If you don't know what an empath is, it might sound crazy. You can look it up. There's an amazing book called The Empath Survival Guide. An empath is somebody who feels deeply from the external environment. It has different forms. For example, you could be a physical empath, like when you touch people you feel their feelings or their pain, or like I know that one of my friends is for sure a physical empath, because when she eats meat, she literally feels the terror that animals feel as they are dying. This is so graphic. Another word for being an empath is an HSP, a highly sensitive person. This sounds bad, but it's only because society is like, yo, if you're sensitive, you're weak. You have a thin skin, blah, blah, blah. That is something I heard a lot growing up. You have a thin skin, you need to toughen up, you're too sensitive. Oh my god, that is enraging, because I feel like I was just existing. I was literally just existing, and I just had all these feelings being thrown at me, and I felt all of them. For me, I am an intuitive empath. That is my strongest iteration of empathy, which means that I can feel and see everything. If you are feeling one way, I feel it from where I am. I don't have to talk to you, I don't have to touch you, I just feel it. And another way that this comes out is being able to see ghosts and orbs and lights and fairies. Hello, have you seen anything I post on the internet? It feels like a curse until you know what it is. Until a professional was like, you are an empath. I thought I was too sensitive, and I was just easily hurt, and I was like, I just needed a thicker skin, because I grew up in Jamaica, and everyone who grows up in Jamaica knows that thick skin is prized. Jamaicans will not hesitate to tell you exactly what they think of you to your face, or you can overhear them from across the room as they make eye contact with you. They are not sugar-coated people. I love you, Jamaica, I do, but Jesus Christ. You don't have to ever wonder how a Jamaican feels about you, because they'll just tell you. All of that to say that thick skin is something that if you are not born with that in Jamaica, you develop it. Except me. Why? Because I am an empath, and that is very hard for me to do. What is a thick skin? Who is she? What school does she go to? Because I don't know her. Everything I experienced, everything I knew, I felt it entirely. Like, my mom was sad, I was sad. Anybody within the vicinity was anxious, I was anxious. All the pressures and sadness and atrocities of the world, I felt that in my body. Once I knew what it was, it is such a superpower. Like, it helps me immensely when I am meeting people, reading for people. I can feel what they are feeling. I can feel the emotions that they are going through, and I can also feel the emotions that they need to channel in order to make progress or you know, start to go in the direction that they want to go. I can feel it all. That is when it's a superpower. Also, it's super useful when you're meeting new people and you're not really sure about them. Most of the time, I will know. Word of advice to people who are not empaths: Don't ever try to lie to an empath, because we know. We love you, but we know. I feel like this is just scratching the surface. Just know that if you are watching this and you still don't get it, I will talk about this so much more, but this is the best way that I can describe this experience that I live right now. It is so much bigger than this, but this is the best I could articulate right now. I hope these hand movements somehow help you understand the experience of me. I love being a psychic. I love being an empath. I used to kind of hate it. It used to freak me out, you know, the whole ghost thing. But now we're in business, baby. I have so many stories to share with you, and I will talk about this as long as I'm living. So this is not the only. Oh, it's back. Yeah, there she is.
Well, it must be a dopey or a gunman. I might not find out yet.